Food prices gradually coming down as bulk purchases slow down. 50 Niger Republic-bound food trucks intercepted in Bala State. Residents trapped as flood takes over part of Lagos State. On the foreign scene, military leaders dissolve government in Guinea. Hello again and welcome to the Trust TV News Update at this hour. I'm Aisha Salihu. And now the news in full. As food prices continue to soar across Nigeria, this week, a market survey shows a reduction in the price of grains in major markets in the north. Some factors have been cited as responsible for the drop in prices of food items, among them the decision by multi-billion naira feed companies, the stoppage of interstate movement with food items in some parts of the country, increased surveillance around borders to stem export and clamp down on some people discovered to be hoarding the grains. Reports from Kano show that prices of maize, soya beans and rice had dropped at Dogoa, Tudunwada and Bunkure markets and others. Similarly, in Taraba State, prices of maize, millet, sorghum, white beans, soybeans and dried cassava have come down at Mutumbiu, Garabachede, Mayhola and Iwari markets. At Mayhola town, a farmer, the price of 100 kg bag of maize had dropped from 54,000 naira to 40,000 naira, soybeans from 40,000 naira to 32,000 naira, sorghum from 50,000 naira to 41,000 naira, a mudu of locally processed rice from 2,000 naira, 2,300 naira, beg your pardon, to 1,700 naira, and white beans dropped from 2,100 naira to 1,600 naira. In Kwara State, a farmer and former chairperson of the Kwara Rural Farmers, Bosse Anifowashe, told our correspondent that a 50 kg bag of maize, which she sold above 65,000 naira in January, was sold for 40,000 naira at Ajase Market just yesterday. In Niger State, especially in Bida, our correspondent observed a reduction in the price of 50 kilogram bag of maize from 52,000 naira to 48,000 naira and Guinea corn from 48,000 naira to 39,000 naira. Residents of the state said the reduction in prices was due to the decision of the government to ban bulk buying of grains from markets. However, prices of fertilizers have skyrocketed at markets in the state ahead of the coming rainy season farming. Meanwhile, 50 trucks conveying foodstuffs out of the country to Niger Republic were intercepted on Monday by the Zamfara State Transport Agency. The agency, which was enforcing a presidential directive meant to arrest the food crisis and hoarding, grounded the trucks loaded with assorted grains. Confirming the interception of the 50 trucks in Zamfara, Shehu Sani, an indigent of Zurmi town in Zurmi local government area of the state, said on Monday that the vehicles were stopped at Gida and Jaja village, close to the Nigerian borders with Niger Republic. President Bala Tinubu last Thursday ordered the trial of the National Security Advisor Nuhu Ribadu, the Inspector General of Police Kayode Egbetokun, and the Director General of the Department of State Services, Yusuf Bichi, to collaborate with state governors and go after those hoarding foodstuff. On Sunday, the Nigeria Customs Service said it stopped 15 trailers conveying foodstuff through the Sokoto borders with Niger Republic. On other security matters, the police in Kaduna State have arrested 4 suspects for alleged armed robbery in the state. The spokesman of the command, ASP Mansur Hassan, said in Kaduna on Tuesday that the suspects allegedly terrorized some communities in the state. He said the suspects allegedly robbed innocent citizens of their motorcycles and other valuables along Adogwarong in Mahuta community in the Igabi local government area of the state. The spokesman listed the suspects as including Bashir Kabir, Suraka Usman, Ibrahim Abubakar, and Buhari Abdullahi. Hassan said the police recovered 5 vehicles' number plates, spare parts, and new SIM cards from the suspects. A couple of hours after gunmen stormed a village market in Achala, in Oka North local government area of Anambra State, to enforce the monthly sit-at-home order, security operatives have smashed an armory located at camp of the gunmen. Security operatives also recovered 5 vehicles believed to have been snatched by the suspected gunmen during their operations. The police public relations officer, DSP Tochukwu Ikenga, explained that the gunmen escaped with bullet wounds when officers and men of the Joint Task Force stormed their hideout. According to the statement signed by the police image maker, the security operatives acted on classified information about their hideouts in the camp. And on to a sad development. A zookeeper at Obafemi Awolowo University in Nigeria has been killed by one of the lions he had been looking after for close to a decade. The statement from the university said Olabode Olawuyi, who was in charge of the OAU zoo, was attacked as he was feeding the lions. The statement further added that his colleagues were unable to save him as one of the lions had already fatally wounded him. The lion has since been put down. Still in the southwestern part of the country, several persons have been reportedly trapped in their houses following the over 6 hours rainfall that submerged most houses in the Alimosho local government area of Lagos State. The rain, which started around 6 a.m. in most parts of the metropolis, took over streets and bridges. The flood caused by the several hours of rainfall has impeded vehicular movement, as commercial vehicles are now avoiding the heavily impacted areas. Most affected areas are Abulegba, Command, Agege, and Egbeda area of Lagos State. We move on now to the south part of the country, where police authorities in Bala State said its operatives have arrested 2 suspects in connection to Monday's land boundaries clash between the youth of Opolo and Okutu communities in Yenagoa, Bala State capital, where 2 lives were lost, many injured, and property destroyed. Police spokesman in Bala State, ASP Musa Mohammed, said in a statement on Tuesday that hoodlums from Opolo community, however, attacked the police team despite the area and the drone operators hijacking the drone control panel, which subsequently led to the crash of the drone. He said the arrested suspects are undergoing interrogation while effort is still ongoing to arrest other fleeing hoodlums, while calm and normalcy have been restored to the area. According to reports by the Corporate Affairs Commission, over 40 million businesses in Nigeria are unregistered. This staggering figure becomes even more puzzling when considering that for every registered business, there are approximately 7 unregistered ones. Consequently, the Corporate Affairs Commission aims to implement stringent measures to address this issue. These plans were revealed during the Commission's one-day leadership retreat for heads of departments, heads of units, and state officers' heads, where they unveiled the Commission's blueprint for the year.
I have some instructions directed to the heads of state offices that we must go back and generate the data of businesses taking place in the state. We will not condone any businesses taking place all over Nigeria without registration. So it's a marching order given to the heads of the state offices of the Corporate Affairs Commission and my management. We have been given a target of funds, over 120 billion for a year. So we are working towards that. We're turning down the activities. There is a paradigm shift in the Corporate Affairs Commission now. We are working towards providing quality service to our customer. That is the most important thing. And secondly, my aim or my vision to ensure that CAC becomes the best place to work in Nigeria. No. The goal of Mr. President is to create job for 50 million youths. And on our partner CAC, we are working towards so that we will be on the same page with the President to achieve that same goals. On our part, this year alone, we are able to encourage small businesses, more than 2.5 million so far, registered with the CAC this year alone, in line with Mr. President's agenda.
This is to unveil the Registrar General's blueprint and way forward for the year, so that everybody will be carried along, everybody would know their performance, their target for the year, and means of achieving such targets. That's the main focus for this morning, and then to ensure that we are carried along with the enforcement program of the Registrar General for the year.
This is the news update on Trust TV. Coming up in part 2. Surge in price of cooking gas compel households to revert to traditional cooking methods. We'll bring you insights and details of this story and more to come after the break. Don't go away. We'll be right back. Welcome back and thank you so much for staying. But if you're just joining us, this is the Trust TV News Update. Now let's take a look at a recap of some of our top stories. We told you that food prices gradually coming down as bulk purchases slow down. Plus, 50 Niger Republic-bound food trucks intercepted in Zamfara State. And now moving on to more stories. Some federal civil servants on Tuesday said the federal government have started the payments of the November 2023 wage award. Another senior civil servant in one of the federal government-owned schools outside Abuja also confirmed the development, saying the November 2023 wage award has been paid. The payment of wage awards to Nigerian workers was one of the deals agreed upon by the organized labor and the federal government as one of the ways to mitigate the effect of the removal of subsidy on premium motor spirit, popularly known as petrol. A significant surge in the price of cooking gas is compelling households to revert to traditional cooking methods. Utilizing firewood and charcoal, families seek alternatives to the modern convenience of gas. The cost of a kilogram of cooking gas has escalated to 1,400 naira, while a bag of charcoal now sells for 8,000 naira in Lagos, southwest Nigeria. Victoria Tokolo visited Agege area of the state, and she brings us more in this report.
Firewood and charcoal, traditionally used in rural areas across Nigeria, are now emerging as alternatives to cooking gas in urban centers. This shift is attributed to the soaring cost of kerosene, liquefied petroleum gas (LPG) and electricity, with cooking gas prices reaching an all-time high of 1,400 naira per kilogram, while kerosene is being sold for 1,250 naira per liter in Lagos State. This has compelled some residents and restaurant operators to revert to the traditional methods of using firewood and charcoal. Charcoal traders here shared their insights on how the economic hardship has affected the price of charcoal, reflecting broader trends of everyday life and business operations in the region.
Before, charcoal is 3,500, they sell am 4,000, 4,500. But now it's 7. They buy am 7,000, 7,200. Now they sell am 8,000 naira. Before, the smallest one before 100 naira. Now no 100 naira charcoal again.
Before they are selling it 3,000, 4,000. But now everything don't cost 8,000 naira now. Because they are buying it inside motor, inside bush now 7,200.
Something like a 4-5 last, but now it's too cost. Everything is too cost. From farm it's too cost. Now see the market, no gain, because they don't sell everything.
Many households now find themselves with limited options as they lament the exorbitant prices of gas compared to the affordability of firewood and charcoal.
I prefer this firewood past gas because, like now, gas, person no fit buy gas. 1 liter of gas, it costs about 1,400 naira. And then we cannot use them, make only 2 delicates for fish, myself, or anything. So, like firewood now, if you buy like 1,000 or something.
3,500, but just of sudden it just go up to 7,500. And presently, like last week, I was informed that it's going to be 8,000 naira. And now a kilo of gas is 1,400. So for now, I prefer that charcoal. I always use gas, but tonight I want to go to charcoal because the price of charcoal pay now pass gas.
Think gas 12 kg. You feel it 1 per kg, so it is 15,000 for 12 kg. And 20 kg is 24,000 naira. And you use it every day.
In light of the significant price disparity between firewood, charcoal and modern cooking fuels such as kerosene, liquefied petroleum gas (LPG) and electricity, many households, particularly in Lagos State, are increasingly opting for firewood and charcoal as their preferred alternatives.
As part of efforts to ensure ease of movement by all travelers patronizing the nation's airports, the federal government has announced plans to commission electronic gates at the Nnamdi Azikiwe International Airport and some selected airports in the country next month. The Minister of Interior, Olubunmi Tunji-Ojo, who disclosed this in Abuja shortly after inspecting some facilities at the airport, said the scanning of passengers' passports will be done with ease with the installation of electronic gates in the nation's airports. The minister also inspected the Command and Control Center at the headquarters of the Nigeria Immigration Service and assured Nigerians that the completion of the center will improve the security situation in the country. Tunji-Ojo said the more the e-gates, the easier for passengers into the nation through the airports. On the foreign scene, the military in Guinea, which seized power more than 2 years ago, has dissolved the interim government in the West African nation and said it will appoint a new administration. The president's Secretary General, Amara Kamara, in a video statement late on Monday, said directors of cabinet, secretary generals and their deputies would be in charge until a new government is formed. The military took power in a coup in September 2021 after the country's first democratically elected president, Alpha Condé, was deposed. The government has been in office since July 2022. More on the foreign scene. UNICEF says Gaza is poised to witness an explosion in preventable child death, which would compound the already unbearable level of child death in the Palestinian territory. Dozens of European countries call for an immediate pause in the Gaza war and renew warnings against Israel's threatened ground assault on Rafah. The United States has proposed a UN Security Council measure that would call for a temporary ceasefire in a rival measure to the Algerian proposal that would urge ending Israel's war on Gaza. Israel has attacked Sidon, deep inside South Lebanon, claiming to hit Hezbollah weapons depot. But local reports say civilian factories were destroyed. We'll go on a quick breakdown. We'll be right back. Welcome back, and now to sports news. Following the conclusion of the 34th edition of Total Energies CAF AFCON, the focus has shifted to the next edition with the preliminary draw of Total Energies CAF Africa Cup of Nations Morocco 2025, scheduled for Tuesday, 20 February 2024 in Cairo, Egypt. The preliminary round of the Total Energies CAF Africa Cup of Nations Morocco 2025 will include the 8 lowest ranked teams according to the FIFA ranking. The countries are Somalia, Djibouti, Sao Tome, Chad, Mauritius, South Sudan, Liberia, and Eswatini. The matches will be played on home and away basis during the FIFA window of 18 to 26 March 2024. The 4 preliminary round winners will join the 44 exempted teams for the group stage. The draw will be conducted at 1400 local time. Still in sports news, Napoli have sacked their manager Walter Mazzarri after a series of poor performances. Petronopoli president Aurelio De Laurentiis surprised many by bringing back Mazzarri after a 10-year absence following the Rudy Garcia sacking, and his move did not lead to an uptick in form, with the coach managing just 6 wins across his 17 games in charge. De Laurentiis initially planned to wait until the summer to find a long-term replacement for Mazzarri, but continued poor results have prompted him to make a change ahead of Napoli's Champions League knockout clash with Barcelona. Napoli have communicated their decision to dismiss coach Mazzarri and are now ready to welcome Calzona, who will sign a 6-month deal and lead the squad until the end of the season. Calzona, who is also the manager of the Slovakian national team, will retain his role and lead the country at the European Championship in the summer. With that, we've come to the end of the news update at this hour. But remember, you can always follow us across all of our social media platforms and also join our YouTube live stream for more news, programs, and documentary. I'm Aisha Salihu. Thank you so much for your time. Join us again.